Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? There's no one here yet. This is the point of the video when I'm really talking to myself, waiting for people to arrive as I do my little work. And there we go. We have 90 weekday drawing videos, you guys. That's a lot of drawing. It's a lot of drawing. So if you're new here, there are tons of videos that you can go do in the archives. You won't be live, but you know, when you're not live, you get to pause. There's some benefits to not doing them live as well. It is Wednesday, I hope. I feel really off this week. It's Disney week. I went a little more obscure, I think, on the Disney. You know, I don't know. I wasn't just looking. We've done Mickey Mouse and some of the other more traditional things. So Monday, we had our first one, and now today is, Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, I have always loved that movie. I even loved when they did kind of the live action version of it. I think there was more than one. I only saw the first live action one. And really, because I feel like in Alice in Wonderland, there are so many interesting characters within it. You have the cool, like caterpillar that smokes. You have Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Mad Hatter. Like there's like Alice, of course, is a huge part, and the Queen of Hearts is a huge part, but there's so many really cool, fun side characters that have so much character. So I went with one of those kind of side characters, my favorite in the movie. So that's what we're drawing today, and I'll show you that in just a second. As a reminder, the drawings now that I'm showing you, they're not going to be in color. They're just going to be in black and white. When we draw them today, we will do them in color. But by keeping it all in just an outline, that lets me load these onto the page as coloring sheets, doing some coloring pages. I also plan on making a coloring book. That's on my to-do list, like actually having a coloring book for sale. And it won't be just made of the ones you can go get for free. It'll be other things. And it'll be my own drawings because I can't really sell, you know, a coloring book with Disney drawings in it, or Disney's gonna come have my hide. We're doing that today. Friday's a Disneyland doodle page, which will include some characters and things you find at Disneyland. Saturday is our pear drawing with Hemley. So make sure if you like ciders, you order from Hemley. They also have non-alcoholic ciders. So while the special case they put together for us does have the boozy ciders, if you want to just order something else, I know we have people who don't drink, so you can get yourself something from their site that is non-alcoholic. And I think you have to place your order by Thursday. Or is it today? I don't know. Don't ask me. I only run this group. Why would I know anything? Let's flip you around and show you the drawing. So the Cheshire Cat is my favorite character in Alice in Wonderland. He is kind of, I feel like with the Cheshire Cat, you never really know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. He's a little bit twisted. He's a little bit crazy. I put him on the Mad Hatter's hat. I think in the movie he appears on top of someone's head. I can't remember exactly. It might even have been the Mad Hatter. Maybe it was Alice. But I just wanted to tie him. I didn't want him just floating in midair, so I thought it would be cool to put him on top of that hat. And so, yes, we will draw this together and then we will actually color it. The coloring of it is really quite simple because you really are just going to need some pinks. His eyes are yellow in the cartoon version. In the live action version, he's gray and his eyes are blue. But in the cartoon version, it's yellow, and then these two different shades of pink are his body. So that's pretty simple. I'm going to put a little green down here in the band of the hat, and let's put this aside and get started. So I'm going to start with the Cheshire Cat's face. And I'm going to put it like a little bit, kind of just around the halfway point of my page. And so I'm going to start with a shape that goes across that top line. And then I'm going to curve this around on both sides. And I know it doesn't look like the Cheshire Cat at all right now, but again, we're kind of breaking it apart, doing it in pieces. So this is actually where his mouth and everything lives. I'm just making some adjustments to that shape, making it a little more even. Erase some of those lines so it doesn't get real muddy. When I drew this last night, I was changing the shape a ton and I had so many little lines on my page. And when I do it myself, I don't erase as I go. And I almost had a hard time with the outline because I couldn't figure out which lines I was keeping. So I'm going to try to find kind of the middle of the face and then come up above and just kind of put a dot. And then a curve line out. We're doing like a really wide open letter V. And then from this point, you're going to come down and curve it into this line. Same on this side. And we'll add the little fur. I just do that when I do the pen. I'm not worrying about that right at this point. And so once you have this, you can erase this line that cuts across because you're going to start drawing his face inside of here. Nah, I don't like that either. Just going to keep with what I have. Now, in this space you've now made, his eyes start up, kind of up in it. They come down into the lower portion too. So you're just drawing two large ovals. And then inside those ovals, you'll draw two small ovals. And he doesn't have any circles of light or anything like that inside of his eyes. He just has yellow eyes with two black pupils. Above his eyes, he has eyebrows. So you're going to curve a line right above the eye, and then they're pointed at each end. So you're going to just, almost like you're drawing a little crescent moon. So see that? I'll zoom in on that. So draw the curve and then draw the curve on the outer side, and you're just keeping those nice sharp points on both sides, and do the same over here. And it's okay if the eyebrows don't match, or if you put a little movement into one of them, because that's what eyebrows are like. So one could be arched a little bit more than the other if you wanted to play around with that. Make this eye a little bit more narrow. There we go. I'm not really putting a line in the eye. I'm just making this eye match this one a little bit more. This one's a little bit wider, and I was just slimming it down. Now for his nose, he really kind of has like that upside down triangle. All the edges curved. Two little ovals inside of the nose for the nostrils. And then in this space below is his mouth. And he has a big mouth. So I'm going to do a big curve. I'm going to put cheek lines on each side. Oh, my dog is going nuts because she can't. My husband just went in the garage. And then down below, another big curved line. You'll do a line right below the mouth for kind of a bottom lip or a chin. And then inside the mouth, you're going to divide this space up into teeth by just adding lines in the space. Oh, goodness. Can you guys hear that? She is not happy. Now from the nose, you're going to do a little line on each side that comes right underneath the eye. So one going this way and one going this way. We have to divide his face up into kind of his cheek section and then the top section of his head. So we start with these two lines, and then this is just going to curve up and around until you reach the side, and then same over here, up and around until you reach the side. And now you have that division in his face. And I'm going to, like, for that fur, I'll put it on just so you guys can see the placement. So I'm going to put some here in the cheeks. I'll actually do some zigzagging on the cheeks on each side. And then this shape will end up with some zigzags just like that. And that's really the only place on the Cheshire Cat you have fur. On the rest of his body, they keep all of the lines smooth. He just has these kind of like wild hairs on his face. You can do whiskers, 3 lines that get progressively smaller. And then lastly are his ears. So his ears, you're just kind of doing a pointed triangle up on the top of this shape. Oh my goodness, I cannot get my shapes to match today. Woo-wee. And inside of these, you're doing a line. This one is all nuts because I kept adding to it, but so it's going to be hard to see that line. I'll just erase a little. So see, you'll have a line coming in because you're going to want the inner ear and the outer edge of the ear on the Cheshire Cat. And there you have his crazy face. Now, his body, we're building off of his face. I want to have room for his tail. Okay, so I probably am not taking the body any higher than about right here. So kind of planned where your body ends because you want room for that tail to live over here. So I'm going to start it off of this upper cheek and I'm going to curve an oval. You might want to watch this part till it's finished before you try it, because it's not going to curve into this side of his face. It's actually going to keep going past his face, down below his body. It's starting to get narrow again, and then it's going to curve and go up into his chin. So he is angled in such a way that you're going to see one of his arms over here, and then his other arm, you're going to kind of line up with this line, bring it down below his face, and then do that curved V shape. His arms are crisscrossed. On this side, we're going to do 3 hot dog tips. 1, 2, 3. So this is the paw of this arm. And then over here, we're going to do 3 hot dog tips. 1, 2, 3. And this is the paw from this side. So he basically has his head resting, or his chin resting on his hands, while his arms are kind of crossed. All of his stripes, I'm going to add at the very end. That's going to be my very last step with the Cheshire Cat. So I'm going to put his legs on and his tail, and then I'll go through and I'll stripe him. So for his legs, I'm going to start kind of where this line starts to curve down. I'm going to draw a line that goes out. Same on the other side. They don't have to be perfectly lined up with each other, but you want them about the same length so you don't give him one weird long leg. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a curve line right here. And a hot dog tip. And then so this is kind of his thumb. And then do another hot dog tip. 1, build 2 more off of it. 2, 3. A curve line that comes to even with where this line ends. And then you'll take it from that point and bring it into the body. I'm going to add a little curve inside the hand for like the palm of the paw. I keep calling it a hand, but I suppose on a cat it would be called a paw. And then on the other side, a little bit of a curve, hot dog tip, hot dog tip, 1, 2, 3, curve line, just about even with this point, and then take it into the body. I definitely made him bigger today, so his tail, I'm really just going to have to work with fitting in this space. So the tail, I'm going to have it curve off of, you find the middle of his butt. So here's the middle. Go a little bit to the left of it and curve down into the leg. And then I'm going to have the line pick up on this side. I'm going to come around the paw, come to a point, come down, and bring it back around. So a little bit to the right of center. I'm going to do this line. And I probably will make some adjustments to the tail. We'll see what it looks like once I get this finished. I'm going to make this literally go to the very edge of my page just to make that tip a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make this a little bit wider. There we go. So lots of crazy lines in there. Let me erase some of the ones that I'm not using so you can see the shape a little better. You kind of just sometimes have to put the tail in or put a shape in and then determine, look at it, decide what you might like about it or not like about it, and then make the changes that you need to make till it fits what you're looking for. That works. Oh, I wanted to put a little line here in this paw, just like I did on the other. And now it's time for the striping. I'm going to start with the tail, and I'm just going to do a curve line. He has a big section at the bottom, and then lines going all the way through the rest. They don't have to be the same width. I'm going to do the legs. I want a line that ends right at the wrist, so that connects those 2 points that I kind of lined up. And then we're just going down his body. On the body, I'm going to make these lines slightly curved. In the legs, I made them pretty straight. Jump your line, continue, jump, continue. Same here, jump, pick it up on the other side. Now here I wouldn't really see the line. It would be going, you know, through behind his face. So I'm just going to pick it up right here. And then as I start getting into the arms, these lines are going to start to curve this way. So it makes sense. And this is something funny, but I don't like, see how the arm line is here and my stripe line is here? I don't like having connectivity like that because they're not joined lines and it will look like that. So all I'm going to do is adjust where that line falls. So see that? I just basically was making the stripe. It was lining up too much with my arm line. So I just moved it a tick back so it wouldn't do that. This one I'm just going to start from right here. There we go. Other little detail that I will end up adding is I'm going to do little nails. I'm going to give him claws on the tips of all of his fingers. So I'll add that in my pen. I'm definitely not going to do that in pencil. And then I'm going to put him on a hat. Now, if you don't want to put him on the hat, if you didn't leave room for the hat, don't worry about it. If you want to put him on something else, you can. I even at one point thought maybe I'd put him on a mushroom or I'd put him, he was always in that tree. So I'm just going to start my hat about where this armpit is. So I'm going to do a line that curves out from this side and then make it so it matches up, curve it out from this side a little. And then this is going to curve down, curve down. I'm going to draw the little slip of paper that's sitting inside of the hat. So up inside this line, I'm going to do another line that cuts across, come down on both sides. So I'll end up erasing this. Now, this is the part that gets a little bit tricky, is the bottom of this hat. So I'm going to do, starting a little bit up from the side here, I'm going to curve around, give a little hot dog tip, cut across the hat, and curve down. So just this little hot dog tip, curve it across. I'll erase this line. I'm going to erase this line. And for now, just curve it around and stop it. And then you're going to come a little bit above this and curve it down. Come up and around, and again, stop it. So now these are kind of lined up, and I made this line really wonky because I was running into my table. And now, once you have these two lines, you're going to continue this line up into the hat. So this is like the underneath of the hat. This is where the head would go. And we're just seeing some of that outer edge. And you can kind of change these lines if you need to, if it's like not looking like it makes sense. But I promise you with the hat too, once you start coloring it, it will flow a little bit better. And then across here, just about maybe a little above halfway of where this paper is, you're gonna do a line that curves over to your edge. This is like the ribbon across the hat. On the piece of paper, you can draw a slash mark. And then this is our fraction. So we're going to have the number 6 at the bottom and a 10 at the top. Just like so. Now we're ready to outline. And then we're ready to color. So I'm going right over these fur pieces. Fur pieces in the cheeks. And then connecting it up with the other side. I'll do the little ovals black inside the nostrils. You can even do 3 little dots, the little, cats and dogs a lot of times when you're drawing them, you always show some of the little, it's like the hair follicle spots. Whisker spots. I'm coloring this black, that pupil. I'm doing the eyebrows black. And then this big body line. And then you'll see I'm just going to do little claws, little tiny V shapes on the tips of the fingers, and I'll do them on the toes too. I forgot to add them to my toes last night. And you could add other things in, you know, maybe you're going to draw your Cheshire Cat smaller and then you're going to add some of the other characters in. You could also just write something like do a we're all mad here. I thought about doing that too last night, kind of doing a line from the movie. We could literally do an entire doodle page of things in Alice in Wonderland. Like there's so many, the little jars that she drinks from, that she eats from. There's so many things, so many details in Alice in Wonderland. I feel like we could fill an entire doodle page. I'm adjusting my lines here, so it's going to look a little bit funny because I'm not going over the top of my pencil in some spots. Everyone is so quiet and focused today. Nobody's making any comments. And then let's add the little claws in here. Little points. Oh, hello everyone. I will make a comment. Sometimes you start, right? It's like, I mean, that's the thing with it's a challenge even teaching drawing. Especially when I'm just doing outline or when I'm doing color, to keep talking, because that's usually is the time when you're just kind of focused and you're kind of closing your mind off to thoughts and just working on the artwork that you're creating. I didn't even see you come in, Mom. Good to see you. And that band and the hat. And then my number. And then I'm ready to start erasing. And there we go. Yeah, I really like this one. You know, sometimes drawing something like what we did with Monsters Inc. You know, I wasn't really like completely replicating exactly what they look like in the movie. We were kind of doing a modified version of them, a little bit of a simpler version of them. But with the Cheshire Cat, I really wanted to make him look like he does in the film. So, and even recreating kind of a scene, because there's, you know, there is the scene where he shows up and he's in this position. I can't remember though, is he on top of Alice's head or is he on top of the Mad Hatter's head? I feel like it's in the Mad Hatter scene and he does actually show up on top of his head during the tea party, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen Alice in Wonderland. Get all my Well, good, Mom. I'm glad we had the little tutorial, so now you can find it easier. All right, I think we're good here. Time to do a desk cleaning. My desk is covered in eraser again. Okay, so eyes are yellow. Just like that. They're kind of a pale but bright yellow. And then you want two different colors of pink for his body. One of them is almost borders on being a little bit of a fuchsia pink, a purpley pink. So I'm gonna go with, I'm trying to decide between these two. I think I'm gonna go with the one that's a little bit darker. And then just a standard pink. Although his body is even almost more of a peach. Like it's a very, very pale pink. Let me find my pale pink. Trying to decide what two to do together. It's almost more of this, but I think I'm going to go that. So I'm just going to color these parts that are the lighter pink. I'm just going to use a true pink, even though it is a little bit of a light peachy pink when you're looking at the actual image. But I'll just color this very light, a very light touch. So we get that hue of pink. If you only have one pink, if you just have, this one color, then color light like this, and then in the opposite stripes, color it darker. Just push harder. So don't worry about it if you don't have more of like that purpley pink. Because even the colors I have, they're not the true exact colors that he is, but you know, we're capturing it enough that everyone's going to know who you just drew. And hey, if you want to make him crazy colors, you could do that too. You can make him like blue and green. The inside of his ears, I'm going to do this lighter shade. His paws. This paw too. This and the tip of the tail. Now, this color will also be in the stripes, but I want to color the big sections that this color fills first because I kind of need to strategically plan my stripes a little bit because like the tip of his tail here is light pink, so I don't want this stripe to be pink. I want it to be the other pink. So I'm kind of putting the bigger spaces that are this color so then I know where to start my other color. And then I'll go back in and add this color in the in-between stripes. So it's very similar, like this paw is light pink, so I don't want this first stripe to be light pink. This stripe would be light pink. You're just kind of... You have to plan for your placement of color a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for now, and then I'm going to come in with this darker color. And not only is it a darker color, but I'm also pushing a little bit harder. The nose is the same color. For those in Sacramento, it's so nice today. We have a little bit of a cool down happening, which is nice because it's been pretty hot over the weekend and this week. There's a nice breeze blowing here anyway. I know sometimes though West Sac gets a little bit more breeze than other areas of Sacramento does because we're right on the delta. I have the window open today in my drawing room and it's quite lovely. Coming into these little pointies. Turning my page. And up in here. So I'll do all my stripes once I get this face part colored in. I'll do all my stripes that are this color first, and then I'll go back to the other pink. The beauty of that is I can go right over the top of this, like right. If I did my light pink, I would have to be a little bit careful, but because I'm putting my dark color down first, I can color that other stripes very quickly. So like I said, with the planning, I know I want this stripe to be this color because it's contrasts with the tip of the tail, which is the lighter pink. And this is really where this drawing is going to take a little more time. Whenever you have anything that's colored in stripes, because you have to take the time to alternate the color and stay within the space. So I'm going to skip a line, and then the next one is this darker color. Skip a line again. And again, and I'm just going to do this through the whole drawing. So there we go. That's the whole tail. And then in the legs, same thing. I want this dark color to be up against that light colored paw. So that line, skip a line. Skip a line. Same over here, starting up next to that light pink edge. I was thinking of taking my kid to the zoo today. It's kind of cool, or I might do it tomorrow. It's supposed to be even cooler tomorrow. I've heard there's not too many people there. It's all outdoors. Okay, now you just start doing lines within the body. There's no real rhyme or reason here. I would just start. We're not worried about it touching, being next to a similar color because one, it's just going to happen. But we don't have any main spaces like we did here where we needed to, make sure that we're not duplicating. So you're just going to come in and color every other line this dark color. It's very tedious. It's a quiet Wednesday. Not too many people drawing live today. I also can't speak today, apparently. I'm going to sharpen my color. The schedule will be changing next week. There will be one live drawing during the week. It will be on Fridays. So I know right now our Friday isn't our live. I am going to do live, since this is kind of the last week at this schedule, I'm going to go ahead and do this Friday live again. Usually I do pre-recorded, but kind of making up for that day I took off. And so live on Friday, just so you know, this week. And then after this week, the only live drawing during the week, weekdays, will be on Fridays. Fridays will be live. And the drawing, I think, I will announce officially this Friday. But I think the drawing is happening at 12:30. 12:30. No, maybe it's 11:30. It's either 11:30 or 12:30. We got, a rough schedule of what school looks like. And for most kids, they have kind of an independent study hour during that time. So I'm filling that time slot because I don't want to draw when they're done with school, because they've spent, with distance learning, they've now are going to have spent most of their day online. And some schools will probably have art still online, some won't. So those that don't might use me as their art option for the week. So yes, again, I'll confirm, but Fridays will be live. It's either 11:30 to 12:30 or 12:30 to 1:30. I can't remember which. And then there will be another drawing posted in the week, a non-live video. I don't know what day, probably Wednesday. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, there'll be another one that posts that you can watch at any time. And then Saturday sip and draws will continue, but they will be every other week. So there will be 2 a month for the sip and draws instead of every week. So I need a couple breaks. I need to be able to do things with my family on the weekends. And by doing the sip and draws every single weekend, it's kind of like kept us at home. And I mean, we've all been supposed to be at home social distancing and whatnot anyway, but we like to camp. We like to go on hikes. We like to do, outdoorsy things with which we can still socially distance. And so I need to give some breaks in there so my family and I can spend some quality time in the wild together. And then I'm not constantly telling you guys, oh, this Saturday is canceled, I'm going to go out of town. Instead, there will just be a schedule with which I can do that. So there are all of my dark pink stripes. So now with this light pink, I can just go quickly in the space. It's easier to color the light ones than it is the dark ones. You don't have to worry about staying inside the lines so much because you can just color into that darker pink area and it won't show unless you're doing pen. If you work in pen, then sometimes you have to be a little bit careful because layering of colors can darken your dark color even. New merchandise is definitely coming. I know I've mentioned it a couple times. We finally have a design that's really pretty locked and loaded. I think you're going to be able to order, it looks like we'll have stickers right now of at least two different versions. And then we're going to do masks. And I think travel cups, like travel drinking cups. So I would expect that to happen within 2 weeks, the ability to actually place your order for the items. See, that stripe went much faster, and I'm liking these colors. This works. I wasn't sure if I should do that peachy, but I kind of like it with this pink here. And then I am doing the Mad Hatter hat, and the Mad Hatter hat is green. So this band in here is going to be darker. I'm just pushing harder. You can make your Mad Hatter hat a different shade though, if you want it to just be more of the black top hat. I think in the live action version, it was just more of a black top hat, and then he kind of had a goldish colored ribbon around the center. And I don't think he had the little slip of paper in that version. This was just from the cartoon animated version. Definitely need to sharpen this guy. So I have that. And then I'm gonna get my black, which is always buried in my jar because it's so tiny. Oh, hi, Catherine. Color this portion in. And then I'll do the rest of the hat in the same green, just lighter. That's all right. So I'll come up above. There we go. Making sure I don't go inside of that little slip of paper. Making sure I don't get any green inside my Cheshire Cat. We probably spent as much time, if not more time, coloring this drawing than we spent actually doing the drawing. That happens sometimes. I'm excited to see your drawings, see what you guys did, see what you added and changed. Don't forget to load them. onto the page so I can see your beautiful artwork. And then just color this all in. Yeah, we definitely have had more people adding to the albums. It's really nice. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how much I get out of that. So if you think of it anyway, think you're doing it for me. It is very nice to go back and to look at all the art people have created. I get ideas from the art you create because, you know, a lot of you run with it and kind of do your own thing and add some extra stuff in. I like to see that. So definitely keep sharing. And, you know, even if you're not drawing live, even if you draw the Cheshire Cat in October, you can still load it. And it doesn't have to be into the album either. If you struggle with adding it to the albums, just add it straight into the group. Either way is fine. I'm going to make this just a tinge darker just because it would be a little bit shadowed around that back of the hat. And there is my Cheshire Cat drawing. I think I'm actually going to make this slip yellow. I want a little bit of color in it. So just doing a really pale yellow. And I think, you know, I think other people like looking at the pictures too. So it's not just me. Everybody likes seeing their art. And there we go. There's our Cheshire Cat. We're all mad here. It would look really cute, written up on the top. You could do it in a really funky handwriting. And I'm going to put my name and my age and where I'm from. And thank you very much for drawing with me today. I will be live on Friday, so instead of a pre-recorded video, you do get a live video this week on Friday, and we will be doing a Disneyland, Disney-themed doodle sheet. I will also be scanning the outlined version of the same drawing you just did right when I hang up with you here. So there will be a coloring page for those that just like to color. So thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely Wednesday, and I will see you guys on Friday. Happy drawing.